For all the hope and wonder that fuels our search for extraterrestrial intelligence, there's a darker question lurking beneath it. Should we be reaching out at all? It's a question that has divided scientists, philosophers, and thinkers for decades. On one side are those who believe communication is a natural step in our cosmic evolution, that reaching out is a sign of maturity, courage, even destiny. But on the other side, caution reigns, and among the most famous voices of warning is none other than Professor Stephen Hawking. Hawking, one of the greatest scientific minds of the modern era, was never one to avoid bold speculation. He explored black holes, time travel, the multiverse, and the nature of consciousness. Yet when it came to contacting alien civilizations, his view was clear. If aliens ever visit us, he once said, the outcome would be much like when Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans. His point was chillingly simple. History teaches us that when a more advanced civilization encounters a less advanced one, the results are rarely peaceful. Cultural collapse, exploitation, extinction, and those events happened between members of the same species. Humans meeting humans. Imagine the risks when the contact is between species with entirely different biologies, technologies, and motives. So Hawking urged caution. He believed that any alien race advanced enough to reach us would likely be millions of years ahead, not just in propulsion or communication, but in understanding physics, matter, perhaps even life itself. Their intentions, good or bad, might be incomprehensible to us, and we might not survive the encounter. But haven't we already blown our cover? For over 100 years, Earth has been leaking radio and television signals into space, from news broadcasts to sitcoms, music to military radar. These signals travel at the speed of light, radiating outward in an ever-expanding bubble now about 100 light-years across. That means any civilization with a powerful enough receiver in that zone could already know we're here. They may already be listening, but accidental leakage is different from deliberate messaging. Sending a directed, powerful signal toward a specific star system, something we've done several times, is a bold step. It's like shouting into the dark forest, not knowing who or what might hear us. Some scientists support this effort, known as METI, Messaging to Extraterrestrial Intelligence. This movement argues that staying silent out of fear is cowardly, that if advanced civilizations are peaceful, reaching out could bring unimaginable benefits, scientific knowledge, philosophical insights, perhaps even a place in a larger interstellar community. But others respond, what if they're not peaceful? What if contact doesn't lead to alliance, but annihilation? These aren't science fiction plots. These are real, high-stakes questions being debated by leading figures in astronomy, astrophysics, and space policy. And it's not just about danger. There's also the risk of miscommunication. Even among humans, cultural misunderstandings can lead to conflict. Now imagine trying to communicate with a species that evolved under completely different conditions, different senses, logic systems, emotions. How do we translate our intentions into a language they understand? How do we ensure that a gesture of peace, say, sending a drawing of a man and woman, isn't interpreted as threat, arrogance, or worse? What if what we think is friendly is deeply offensive? And what if they respond, but we misinterpret them? The fear isn't only that they might harm us. It's also that we might panic and harm ourselves. In the event of confirmed contact, the world would face an existential psychological shock. Governments might collapse. Religions might fracture. Economies could spiral. Some people would celebrate. Others would riot. Not all of us are ready to learn we are not alone. In fact, that very question, how humans might react to first contact, is now a field of study. Psychologists, anthropologists, and sociologists have conducted surveys, simulations, and cultural studies to prepare for that possibility. What they've found is fascinating. People tend to accept the idea of alien life quite easily, but the reality might be much harder to process. And yet, silence may be its own kind of danger. If we never reach out, if we never try, we may never be found. We may remain alone, adrift in a galaxy teeming with life, simply because no one knew we existed. Or worse, because we were too afraid to say hello. So, what do? Some propose a compromise. Listen first, speak later. This approach, championed by figures like Jill Tarter, one of the real-life inspirations for Contact, suggests that we focus our efforts on detection, on passive listening, until we're more certain of what, or who, is out there. Meanwhile, any attempt at transmission should be internationally coordinated, not left to one country, one agency, or one eager group of scientists. It should reflect humanity, all of us, not just some. Because once we speak, we can't take it back. At Infinity Beyond, we ask not just, are we alone, but what happens if we're not? Because this is not just a question of science. It's a question of responsibility, ethics, and wisdom. It's about who we are and who we might become. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, we are not just explorers. We are potential diplomats, ambassadors of Earth. And the greatest question we may ever face is not, are they listening? It is, should we speak?